Hello and welcome to our Busy Webinar. This is Dave Meyer with BizzyWeb. Delighted to have you with us here this afternoon. It is Wednesday, August 19th, and we're going to be talking about building a website for your B2C business, your business to consumer business, or your brick and mortar kind of salesy kind of website. So we're going to talk about a bunch of things today, but first I'll get through a little bit of an agenda, and then we'll talk through how to get on and ask questions about today's event or during today's event, because we like to keep things as informative as possible. These are as much about you as they are about us. So we'd love to have your input and your questions as you dial through. So if you have something that occurs to you during the event, I'll tell you how to do that in just a moment. So for our agenda today, we're going to talk a little bit about BizzyWeb. That's going to be a minute or less, and then we're going to go straight into B2C websites. So business to consumer marketing has some very specific needs and requirements. So we're going to talk about how that works, what to think about, and what to do, including how to use your website, how to manage expectations, how to get the sale, and then how to write effective content for your B2C website. Round that up, and during the event, we'll take some time to go aside for tech support. And so let me show you how to do that right now. If you are watching this event inside of the window on BizzyWeb's website, you can go to number 1 right above the embedded video right here. If you go under Google Plus, where I'm highlighting right now, if you click that Google Plus link and you have a Google Plus account, you'll be able to ask us questions live during the event. And here's how to do that. You click on this Google Plus page link that will open up in this window. And inside of that window, you'll note that it says Q&A and live right here. So if you click play on this button, you'll be able to see a window pop up. And I am going to pause so you don't have to hear me twice. But you'll notice when you're in this window, you'll be able to see everything like you would normally inside of that viewer window. But then there's a green Ask a New Question button. And so if you do have questions about anything that you hear today, as well as anything that you have general questions about regarding online marketing or websites, please go ahead and click that green Ask a New Question button here and ask a question here, or post your website for a brief review. So if you have a URL that you'd like to have us look at and to have me give you a few tips and pointers during the event, this is a great way to do that. So again, in order to do that underneath the BizzyWeb website, if you go into the event, and again, that's under events calendar, you got an email from it if you subscribed. If you haven't subscribed to our email list for B2B websites or for any of our Busy webinars, go ahead and click and then subscribe to our newsletter down at the bottom of the page. But under number 1 down here, if you click get our weekly curated email, that'll give you links, or you can just subscribe to the event or register for the event right inside of this page. But if you click on this number 1 link, it's going to open up a window that after you press play, it's going to go in here, and you can ask questions or post your website's URL for me to review live on the webinar during the event. So we'll have this available. Note that this is being broadcast live to YouTube as well. So if you'd like to have something, like to have us get a hold of you after the event, you'll get a note right after the event is complete, and you can respond to that email with your question as well, or just send a note to dave@bizzyweb.com if you'd like to ask me something separately offline. All right, let's get back into our event and talk a little bit very briefly about who we are and why we're qualified to talk about today's content. BizzyWeb is an online marketing agency founded in 1999. We're based right here in Champlin, and our team of 14 serves clients all over the world. We'd love to have you stop by someday at our headquarters. Our hive is located right on 169 if you're local to the area, about 15 minutes out of downtown Minneapolis. You can see some pictures of our hive here, and we have some clients right in our conference room right now. So greetings to Obed and team, and thank you all very much, Obed and Megan, for signing on and joining us here. So if you do want to join us in person, you're welcome to do that at any time. Also, online marketing and web design is what we do. Here's some examples of our websites. If you need help with online marketing, in particular, making your website sell, helping you get better results with everything that you do, or just making sure that your search engine optimized and that the content you're using is getting the results that you're looking for, please do talk to us today. I'm going to talk very briefly at the end about how to generate a buzz report for you and your business. But if you go to buzzyweb.com/buzz, that's BUZZ, and sign up for a buzz report, you'll get that buzz report instantly, and it will tell you what you're doing right and what you could do better for search engine results, both for the keyword that you've entered, but also against your competition, because you can enter in a competitor's URL. So we also do social media setups and connections. So if you need help with any of your online marketing, we'd love to talk to you. All right. The big content for the day is business to consumer websites, or B2C. If you have a business that serves the public directly or serves consumers directly, your website is a B2C website, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Basically, B2B websites were covered last week, and those B2B websites are businesses that serve other businesses. If you have people that walk into your brick and mortar store and you sell things to them, or if you have an e-commerce store and you're trying to get people to buy, or if you have some sort of a service, a spa or a salon that takes walk-ins or takes internal connections, if you're working with one-on-one people, that's what we're talking about today. If you're interested in B2B websites, we actually did a BizzyWebinar last week on B2B. And if you have an e-commerce website that you need some help with, we're going to be covering that in our BizzyWebinar next week. So e-commerce websites are next week. Today we're talking about B2C. So first, what every single website needs. If you have a website and if you haven't taken care of any of these things, please get a hold of us or search around for how to make that happen for you. If you don't have customer-facing design and content, that's kind of the point of the web. And a lot of clients of ours, especially before they've worked with us, have trouble with this. A lot of times we think, well, everybody wants to know who I am. And so they fill out their website and they write it from their perspective. They write that they have 25 years in the industry, or that they've got really nice people, or they're experts in their field. That's all great and that's all good background information. But the leading content that you need to have on your website needs to focus on what's in it for your visitor. You need to focus first on the marketing persona of the best people that you connect with or that you're serving. And if you take a marketing persona, that's kind of marketing geek speak, but if you do a profile of your very favorite customers, the people that you'd love to have 5, 10, or 50 more of, and if you write down in general who they are, what they do, what they're interested in, what their hobbies are, what their home life is like, and most importantly, why they come to you and what they would search for in order to find you, that will give you a huge idea about what you need to focus your website on. For example, BizzyWeb clients are largely B2B clients who are interested in growing their businesses, and they need help kind of weaving through all of this online marketing stuff and making it simple. So BizzyWeb's tagline, "Generate buzz without getting stung," is very much designed toward that end. We help people grow their business without locking them into things that they don't need, and we help cut out all of the extra junk and just help you focus on what matters most for you and your business. So unless you have a tagline, unless you have a focus that's directed toward your consumer, especially in business to consumer websites, you need to rethink and repurpose your content so that you do. If you sell drill bits, you don't actually sell drill bits. What you do sell is holes. You need to focus on the hole that you fill for your client and take them to that next level by giving them easy calls to action. You need to have a mobile-friendly design inside of that call to action website. But on that first page, from any single device, people need to understand what's in it for them and what they need to do next. Every page of your website should have at least one call to action, and a lot of times we tell our clients to have at least 3 calls to action. A call to action right at the top of the web page, a call to action probably in the middle after they're already engaged, and make sure that you have a call to action at the bottom of the page after they're already fully engaged and they understand what they're in for. If you do that, and if you make your calls to action incredibly simple to take and to do, you'll start seeing much higher response rates and results from your website. If you have 5 options on your website's homepage, you're going to see much less response of anyone taking any one of those choices than if you only have 1 or 2. And if you take one choice and say, click here for more information, click here to subscribe, get a white paper, download this tool, or give us a call, if that's the only option you give them, people will be much more likely to take that option than if you gave them 10 different options. So make sure that you have relevant calls to action on your website. Building a website also includes SEO, or search engine optimization. That's fancy words for the fact that you need to make sure that you're findable on Google and other search tools, because when people are interested in making a purchase from you, they're going to search to find you and your services. And if your website isn't mobile friendly, Google's not going to list your website on its mobile results. So if you're searching from a web-enabled phone, if your website isn't mobile responsive, Google is not going to show you for the keywords that you normally rank for. Might not seem like a big deal, but up to 80% of people now report that they mostly do their searches over mobile devices. And we're all carrying supercomputers in our pockets now. So having that available is just good business practice to make sure that your website looks great on every single device, but is also designed to get the result that you want no matter where you're browsing from. All marketing needs to do these 4 things: engage, inform, capture, and convert. And unless you're able to do that convincingly and easily, engaging is to be entertaining and to draw people in. Informing is showing people that you understand what you do and that you have a depth of knowledge that makes you trustable. Capturing their information is, of course, that call to action. And that lets you go back and engage and inform until you can convert your visitor on your website into a customer. One brief thing on this. WordPress is the tool that BizzyWeb uses for all of our websites. We do that because WordPress is perhaps the best optimized for search engines out of any web tool, and it seamlessly and deeply integrates, when done correctly, with social media. Your job with your website, especially in B2C, is to cast a wide net to as many people as possible, to be engaging and to inform them on why they need to work with you, and to give them that option. If you can't update your website regularly, it's going to be really hard to rank well, and it's going to be really hard to be trustable, because people look for recency as one of the key trust factors on their website. If you have the last post or the last update done on your website as several months or maybe even years ago, you're missing out on a big opportunity to deeper integrate or entertain or engage with people that are visiting your website. They want to know that you love them and that you love your website and you're serious about it as much as they should be. So let's dig a little deeper and figure out what every B2C website needs. Here's an example of one of BizzyWeb's websites. Please do visit Quick Keys LLC. And especially if you need your keys replaced or upgraded, they're a brilliant company located right here in Champlin, Minnesota. And they do things all over the Minneapolis metro area. We're really proud of their website. Went out about a week ago. And so they're a great example of cutting edge design in B2C websites. What you need to focus on is how you serve your visitor. You're writing that content so that people that search for you in the language that they're going to search for are going to find relevant content on your website. When they search on Google for your website, that content should take them directly to a page that brings them to that next level. If your SEO is optimized just for your homepage and you do 4 or 5 different things, if your web page's homepage doesn't directly relate to that, your bounce rate, or the likelihood that people will visit your website and then go somewhere else right away and leave your website again, is much higher. If, however, you bring them right to the relevant content on your website because you've got that content on your website and it's searchable and indexed, then you're much more likely to convert that person who has made that decision to search for the keywords that you're already found for and take them and make them into a buyer of your products and services. As a matter of fact, on products and services, You want to focus on how you resolve pain points for your customers versus what you do. If Quick Keys would have started out with, we've been doing this longer than anyone else, or we have cutting edge technology and tools, well, that's all wonderful and well and good. And yes, it needs to be on your website somewhere, but notice what they say on their homepage. Lost all your keys. Get help now. 24-hour emergency, request a quote, or schedule an appointment. Everything that you need to know is available immediately from within that first screen, no matter if you're on a website or on a computer, on a mobile device such as a tablet, or on your phone. And if you think about it from their perspective, the mobile viewer is probably the most likely to visit their website when they're having an emergency. You just got locked out of your car. You need to get a new key made. You need to have it delivered to you. You're probably not going to pop out your laptop. You're going to grab your phone and you're going to search for key replacement. So that's why we built this website this way. Notice that they have relevant products. They have how they serve you, the visitor, instead of all about them. And all of the copy on this website matches the search terms that people would be searching for if they were a good candidate for Quick Keys LLC's services. Note also that the design is very professional. It looks like this company means business. If you've seen some of the competitors, or if you Google around for key replacement or locksmith, some of the websites are incredibly poor. And that's because, as business owners, we're not always web designers by trade, but that's why you need to talk to a company or work with someone that can help you present that professional image. People need to trust you enough to take that next step, in this case, to call or click. And if you don't have that content out there, and if it doesn't look great, the bounce rate is going to go through the roof if they bother even searching for you in the first place. Another thing that I covered briefly before is landing pages. And unless you have specific pages around each of the things that your customers might want to do, the likelihood that they'll take the required or your ideal action when they visit your website or your page is going to drastically be reduced, because what you want is something that's going to cut out all of the confusion, give them the one option that they're looking for, and you need to do that by having dedicated and separate pages for each of those connections. So think about what your customers are most likely to want from you, align that with your products and services, make a landing page for each of those main things, and give them a relevant call to action or tell them what to do next when they're visiting your website. In order to do that, you're making your website into a sales sorting and lead generation funnel instead of just a brochure that might get them some information but is just as likely to frustrate them. No one wants to play an online version of Where's Waldo to figure out what's happening on your website or how they can work with you. Make it painfully, incredibly clear, and then you'll start closing sales more than ever. All right, so there are some challenges inside of B2C websites, and that's a few of them are here. B2C, much more so than B2B, is all about action and fighting noise. B2C websites tend to have more competition than B2B websites. And so as people are looking, if you, for example, own a cupcake shop or a spa or a salon, or if you're a realtor, or if you're connecting up in some other way, there's likely to be local competition that's also trying to get that business. So you need to be about action, and you need to make it as clear and as simple as possible to take that desired action in order to get the business. More visitors and more leads also means that you kind of need to play the numbers. From a lead generation perspective, most search engine marketing, and by that I mean Google AdWords or Facebook ads or any of the other ways to leverage and to drive traffic to your website, are done in B2C websites. That's because the competition is higher and there's a lot more dollars being spent inside of B2C connections. So you need to focus back on what your intended desire is, or what you want people to do. You need to figure out the actual value of each new client and what you need to invest in order to get one new client. If you don't focus correctly on what you get or what your customers are going to get, it's easy to get discouraged. Say, well, I spent $50 and I didn't get any clicks on that advertising campaign. Well, sometimes, especially with B2C, people need to see your content up to 5 or 6 times before they decide to take that next step. The higher the price of your product or service, the more times it's going to take people to get to that next step. Your job is to get them there, and you need to invest. Work backwards from the numbers on what your profit margin is and what you can afford to spend to acquire a new client. And from there, you'll be able to set an appropriate marketing budget. I'm not saying you need to spend tens of thousands of dollars, but we like working with our clients, and what we normally do with them when we decide that we need to boost our marketing results with advertising is we start small, test and measure, and then grow inside of models that we know that work. So it can be confusing, and that's a lot to say, but start small, use trial and error, minimize the error, maximize the trial, and then you'll be able to drive traffic to your website. Social integration is also incredibly key inside of B2C websites, because B2C connections tend to be much more sales driven and social media driven. We're all looking for high trust transactions, and getting referrals from people that we know is much more likely to lead to a purchase decision than any other way. It's much easier to get more business from existing clients or to get a referral or to get new business from a referral than it is with cold leads. A lot of times we focus on getting as many cold leads as possible in, but on average, new business is only 10% of an average business's total revenue stream. So what I mean by that is if you're spending $100 in marketing, most of that marketing or most of the results that you're going to see are going to be with your existing clients. So don't forget to market to your existing clients and drive that with email marketing, for example, and integrate that content and integrate your social networks, your Facebook, your Twitter, your Google+. If you have some sort of a corporate clientele, you can reach out via LinkedIn. Pinterest is also fantastic. But pushing all of that out, you can create a website. BizzyWeb runs all of our websites so that when you publish on your website publishes to all of your social networks. What that does is it casts a wide net and helps you drive more traffic into your business without any additional time or resource outlay. So make sure that you're driving social interaction. I already mentioned this, but it's tempting to just drive toward a sale, but high value interactions need to be 80% of that content. I mentioned engage, inform, capture, and convert. If you engage and inform, that needs to be about 80% of the time that you spend in your website updates and your social media updates by proxy. Ask for some next step that other 20% of the time. No one likes to be spammed or sold. What your call to action or your sales message should be, it almost should feel like a foregone conclusion. Well, of course I want to buy from you, show me how. And so don't make every post that you publish about half off now, buy today, do X, Y, or Z. Instead, add value, engage and inform, and then make the call to action the natural next step. Of course, you're going to have specials and promotions and deals and offers, but if all you publish on your website are deals, offers, and coupons, you're in one level, you're only marketing to probably the wrong people, the value-driven folks. You want to focus on folks that are more interested in the level of satisfaction that they get from your product or service versus the absolute price, because someone can always beat you on price. But also focus on getting as much content in front of people as possible to drive their interest and then get the sale. So those are the inherent challenges in B2C websites. I'm going to break aside for just a second and see if we do have any questions. Looks like we're clear here. Again, if you have a question on the B2C websites and what to do inside of them, from the post, if you're watching inside of this window, do me a favor and click on the Google Plus link under number 1 above. I've highlighted it here. If you click on that, it's going to open up into a window that will look like this. And if you have a Gmail account or a Google account, you'll be able to log into Google Plus, and then you'll click this green Ask a New Question button that's in the lower right. From that page, you'll be able to ask questions. We'd love to have your input, your questions on how to have an effective B2C website. If you have suggestions or things that have worked for you, we'd love to hear that as well. Or if you'd like me to review your website or a website of your competitor and pick it apart, let me know in the comments, and I will take that, that note here. All right, so after all the challenges, how do we use our websites effectively? First, of course, focus on your homepage. Get to your main call to action above the fold. This is particularly tricky to do in a mobile responsive version of your website because you only have, at a minimum, 4 inches of screen real estate to get that message right in front of your clients. So make sure that you get right to the point, tell people why they should care, and build that forward from that call to action. Notice that there's a call to action right on BizzyWeb's homepage here. We say generate was without getting stung. Call today at 612-4BizzyO. And so that's what we're driving people toward on our homepage. We also have a slider on our homepage that offers 3 options, but it's only 3 and they only present 1 at a time. So make sure that you clear out as much copy as possible and just winnow it down to exactly what you want people to experience on that very first page. Make sure that you do integrate social media to save time and to integrate with a broader audience. If every time I update my website updates Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Google+, and more, that's 5 less places that I have to visit inside of my marketing strategy, and I can just focus on great content instead of trying to chase all over the web. You need to also make sure that you're focusing back and driving search engine links, and that gives you 5 extra links with every time that you publish to your website. If you look at BizzyWeb's website and you click, especially on Twitter, you'll notice that every URL that links back to our website from Twitter is BizzyWeb.com/XYZ. If you use Hootsuite or another social media integration tool, it goes to, for example, Owly, OW.ly, and then some random code. That helps Hootsuite with their search engine optimization. It doesn't help you. So make sure that you focus on your content and link to your website as much as possible. Make sure also that you include contact and subscribe forms. Best way to continue to engage and inform is by making sure that you have their contact information so that you can reach out to them. Tools like Constant Contact in particular can make that very simple. When you subscribe to a newsletter, you should be able to send that person 3 or 4 messages designed to deepen their relationship, give them an overview on what your products and services are, and to more proactively do some outreach. What that does is it helps you to auto-sort your marketing funnel. And again, it saves you time and effort because people will naturally boil up or bubble up to the top that are more interested in your products or services when you can send them 2 or 3 extra messages. So give them that next step and help them move forward. Finally, follow up with email and keep your products and services top of mind with the people that are visiting. If they've searched for you, they've read some of your content, they've taken the time to subscribe to your newsletter, or they've gotten with you some other way that gives you that opportunity to connect with them via email. I was always sort of bearish on email before, but that was before I really looked at the numbers. Email is still an incredibly effective way to integrate and to interact with people that matter most to you and your business. If you do not have an email marketing campaign strategy, please talk to us. We have Constant Contact that includes all kinds of amazing new integrations, including social media promotions, surveys, and events. And you've probably seen our event emails if you're attending this webinar. Constant Contact makes all of that incredibly easy, and it starts at $45 a month. So finally, a few expectations inside of marketing with your website on B2C. SEO, the art of getting ranked well on search engines, does take some time to work. A general rule of thumb is if you're doing all the right things, if you're making those those social media posts, you're connecting back and forth, and you're doing regular content that's consistent and has all of the right keywords, it might take up to 6 months for you to really start climbing the rankings in Google. Google has an algorithm, and that algorithm needs to see repeated performance in order for you to rank as best as possible. You'll also need a marketing budget to proactively drive traffic. This at some level does mean some form of advertising. I view advertising more as an accelerator pedal for results than as a bespoke strategy. For B2C, advertising can be very powerful, and it's probably the most natural fit for advertising as B2C versus B2B or M2M marketing. But it does take a little bit of a budget in order to drive results. If you're working with some sort of an online marketing tool that requires you to advertise in order to get any results at all, for example, if you have a subscription-based service that publishes things out and you don't own the list or you don't own the website at the end of the day, think about that very carefully, because online marketing should always be an accelerator pedal or something that augments your results instead of the only way to drive results. If you stop spending money on Google and you don't have a business anymore, you're using the wrong strategy. We like to build up and grow our clients' businesses organically as well as via paid search. That way, once the organic reaches a certain level, you can start dialing back your online marketing budget to focus more straight on content. It's all about working smarter and not harder and getting real results for the maximum input. That's how we drive back and what we mean by generate buzz without getting stung. Your website does need regular attention. New things are going to come up all over the board. 2 years ago, there wasn't really such a thing as mobile responsive design. And so that entire network, the entire universe of the web has changed over the past couple of years, where now you just need to have a mobile responsive website. If you don't, you're losing traffic. The next thing will come, so you need to stay on the pulse. And having a website that you treat as a brochure and that you look at every couple of years is not going to get you results. That used to be okay 10 years ago maybe, but now you need to treat your marketing as a living, breathing thing that needs regular care and attention. You know, it's like your pet turtle. It doesn't require a lot, but you do need to throw some lettuce in the cage once in a while. Put regular content out, I'd say at least once a week, in order to get regular and consistent results. And finally, if you're not measuring, you're not really marketing. So make sure that you focus on analytics, understand what's working and what's not. And even if you're doing online advertising, make sure that you're looking at your results, do A/B testing, check out what's happening, and let your marketing figure itself out for you. If you're doing regular advertising and if you're measuring your results, you'll notice that some things do work and some things don't. The things that work, you want to do more of. The things that don't, you want to keep fiddling with until they start working. If you're not measuring, it's impossible to tell what's working and what's not, and you're throwing money away. Make sure that you're as thoughtful and as dedicated in making sure that you're taking the right steps as you are in doing the tool or doing the activities anyway. And finally, use the right tools. Your website should be included on all of your update posts. You can do auto posts to all of your networks. You can offer special deals and offers to people. Again, that's probably only 20% because it should feel like a foregone conclusion that they want to work with you instead of the only message you send. If you want to work with social media, Facebook is great for general posts and deals. Content like videos and pictures is much more interactive and engaging on Facebook than text posts. So make sure that every post you make on your website has some sort of graphical identity and interest to it for maximum results across all of the social networks. LinkedIn is fantastic for B2B and for thought leadership, But if you're reaching out to any corporate individuals or anyone that has a kind of a corporate job, LinkedIn is a great strategy regardless of whether you're B2B or B2C. Google Plus is best for search engine optimization content. Any posts that you make on Google Plus are what Google calls sparks. When you link back to your website, that's a spark, and that's a high quality indicator to Google that your content is worth ranking well. Twitter, of course, then is also great for short updates, headlines, tips, branding, and just keeping your name out in front. Out of all the networks that are out there, Twitter is the one that you probably can't overdo, but be careful and be strategic in the posts that you do make. They should change up once in a while. You don't want to be a one-trick pony and only publish out quotes of the day, for example, because everything that you do needs to do one of four things, right? Engage, inform, capture, and convert. So make sure you take those steps to take people to the next level. I'm going to switch over for questions. I don't see any, which is fantastic. If you do have additional questions, please feel free to send those to dave@BizzyWeb.com. We do have a whole bunch of viewers today, so I would love to have that interaction and those questions answered for you. Send it to dave@BizzyWeb.com. Dial 612-424-9990 if you have additional questions, or just submit a form request and we'll get right back to you. In summary, BizzyWeb does all of these things for you. Whether you need a web design that will get you leads and help you grow your business, inside of 10 seconds, your website needs to tell everyone what you do, why they should care, and that you're the company for them. And when you have that website, you need to back it up with fantastic hosting. We offer the best value in the business. We offer about $600 worth of value in our website hosting packages, which ring in at half that price. So make sure that you're working on, especially if you're in WordPress, whether we designed your website or not, we'd love to talk to you about our online hosting programs. Online marketing can help you boost your results online and take you to that next level. Our Buzz Builders online marketing programs can help you promote your products and services, generate leads for your B2B business, generate search engine results, or deepen existing relationships with your customers. We have programs for all four of those, all the way from just coaching you to doing everything for you in our Buzz Builders advanced or pro versions. Remember to join us every Wednesday. And if you go to BizzyWeb.com/events, there's all kinds of stuff that we can do for you. Next week, we're going to be talking about e-commerce websites. But if you have anything under the sun that you'd like to see, scroll backwards in time at BizzyWeb.com/events. We have more than 170 Buzz Builders or BizzyWebinars that cover every topic under the sun regarding online marketing. Finally, if you have not yet taken the time to request your free Buzz report, go to BizzyWeb.com/buzz. All it takes is about 2 minutes or less. If you're a slow typer, type in your URL, type in the keyword that you think you might be most likely to get found for. If you want to, you can type in a competitor's URL, and we'll tell you what you're doing well, what your competition is doing well, and where either of you can grow, where you can benefit or get ahead of the competition. This is going to take about 45 seconds for you to get a PDF mailed to you back, but it's one of the best things that you can do is by knowing what you're doing well. And then if you'd like our help, we'd love to talk to you as well. Again, I am Dave Meyer with BizzyWeb. Thank you so very much for joining us on this Bizzy webinar. If you have additional questions, you can reach me at dave@BizzyWeb.com or 612-4BizzyO. Again, I am Dave Meyer with BizzyWeb. So delighted to have you with us. Remember, at BizzyWeb, we help you generate buzz without getting stung. Have a fantastic week.